Hey, what's up guys? I'm Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So thanks for sticking with me today. If you are not scared off by my 5 head because I decided not to wear a hat today, then I'm sorry and I apologize in advance. But what I wanted to talk about today is something that I feel like is warranted and needs discussion. Once again, we've actually touched on this in the past, but we haven't gotten too in-depth with it, and that is Algol. So we've seen, spoiler alert by the way, if you haven't been the end of Season 2 yet, there's a disembodied voice that is communicating with Ishka Acht, and it is pretty widely known to that be Algol. Now, the thing that I want to get to the gist of is this Algol from the past timeline? Like, was he lost in the astral chaos, kind of similar to how, like, Cassandra was, the masked version from, like, Soul Calibur 4? Or is this, like, just the new timeline variation of Algol? This could go either way. I kind of prefer the old Algol to be done and this to be a new Algol with a new backstory. I do like the way that, like, he's a disembodied voice, trying to come back to this reality. I think they would write themselves into a really big wall if, like, he came back, like, his full power and stuff like that. I think Ishka Acht is going to act as, like, kind of his emissary and possibly his vessel. Similar to how Orochimaru works in Naruto, I think he's actually going to possess Ishka Acht, since she has the ability to mimic fighters that she's seen fight in the past. This could work out really well for the story mode and add a lot of variety and variation, other than just having, like, you know, a god with, like, 2 swords. I do like the design of the original Algol, and I think it should come back at some point, but I think this should be a good build-up to getting to that point. One of the many problems that 5 had is a Mortal Kombat 11 problem. Like, where do you go from here? If, like, you're fighting, like, the most powerful being in existence, there's not really much that, like, a bunch of people who have limited power-ups can actually, you know, fight against. We would need to explain a bunch of stuff with, like, the astral chaos and the fissures and things like that. Obviously, the Conduit, our created character. But more so than that, like, we have, like, a lot more plot points going on right now that are being led up from the end of Season 2, which I want to see fully explored and not just focused on, like, a giant god coming back. Algol is a cool character, and I do want to see him fleshed out fully this time, so I would like to see him actually come back a little bit by little bit. And if this Soul Calibur is, like, the midway for a new trilogy or the start for a new series, I think we need to not kill him off and have the potential of him coming back in the future. If he does come back in, let's say, a Soul Calibur 8, I would like to see him, like, trapped or something like that. Like, not, like, just outright defeated. Like, maybe locked in the astral chaos again, or his body, you know, being destroyed, but his, like, spirit still living on, kind of like how he is right now. There's a lot of different things and a lot of different functions that they can do to write themselves out of the corner that they wrote themselves in 5. I do really love the narrative of Soul Calibur 6, especially the later DLC entries, and leading up to Algol being this way is a very smart decision in my eyes because of the narrative. Now, when it comes to gameplay, a lot of people might be upset with this, especially Algol fans, because they're going to be like, well, if Algol's coming back, I want Algol back. I don't want, like, Ishka Acht with, like, Algol's, like, spirit or as her emissary or something like that, you know? And I can kind of, I would agree to that, like, that would kind of suck for Algol fans who actually just want to get their hands back into the dual wielder. But this is the best way to preserve the narration. Since she has the ability to transform into anybody, we can still get around this by, when he possesses Ishka Acht, perhaps she transforms into Algol, so he still doesn't have his unlimited abilities. His fight mechanics would still be the same or reworked for this for Soul Calibur 6, just similarly to how, like, Setsuka and other characters have been reworked. Functionally being the same and unlocking him as a character to be able to be used, but for story purposes, have Ishka Acht just transform into Algol while he is possessing her. That way we have the character that people can actually use in battle and in versus mode, and we have a lot more possibilities with, like, her transforming, him possessing other people, him still being playable in the game, and not having an end being, like, sent back to the astral realm or the chaos. Like, there's a lot of different ways that they can do that, and I think that would be the best option for them to actually write Algol. I've thought about this a lot. If you just straight up bring Algol back, like, you're in a similar spot to 5. There's like I said, there's nowhere that they can actually go from there. You can pull a Dragon Ball method and have like another bigger, badder baddie in like the next game, like they have been doing since Soul Blade. But the problem that lies with that is that the characters that we're using are not like universal level characters. Like the strongest characters that we possibly have would be like what, maybe Zasalamel, who hasn't transformed at all, and I don't even know if he has the ability to transform in this timeline. We have Grow, which has his limited transformation with the Manifestation, and I don't think that like him or Kilik with their limited transformations would be nearly powerful enough to take down Algol, or justifiably so, and somebody beyond Algol, which I don't even know what form that would take. It would probably be Soul Edge and Soul Calibur fusing together and taking on like their own variation of a form, similar how they created like Elysium in the past. We can see them like literally merging Elysium with like Nightmare or something and having this like ultimate being, kind of like Night Terror but beyond, because Night Terror is not even on the level of like Algol. The way I talked about in the past also with like Algol being like more relatable, I would like to see his Hero King story as well. So if we can actually, if we can actually see in his Soul Chronicle or something, going back into the past of how he became Algol and being able to fight as him before he attained Soul Calibur and Soul Edge, that would be greatly appreciated in my opinion, and would also lend a lot more to his actual character arc. Wherever this goes, we're definitely going to be leading into some great narration in Soul Calibur 7 and beyond, but as I said, like, I kind of want to know your thoughts on the situation. I know a lot of you are probably going to disagree, and some of you are actually going to have better ideas than I do, and that's why I want to hear from you in the comment section down below and on the Discord, just so we can get started with like this conversation about like how they should handle Algol. We do know that he's back, so how they handle him is going to be, I think, what makes or breaks the narration of the next game. And let's face it, like, yes, we're getting a Soul Calibur 7, but we're not sure about beyond that. If Soul Calibur 7 tanks due to people not liking the story or anything akin to that, then it's going to be anybody's game at that point, whether we actually get a continuation of the story or not. And I would love to see a continuation even further beyond. So with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this video to a close. I want to thank you for watching, subscribing, liking, and all that great stuff. And as I always say, I love it. Thank you.
And thank you.